Darkside Performance here again with another video. This week we're going to be making the manifolds for the S10. Basically what I did is I cut up the turbo manifolds that were in the Datsun, and that's where I got a bunch of these 90s from, and then I ordered some 2-inch Schedule 40 stainless tubing for the log. This is what the eBay ones look like before they got cut up. So I just cut the flange out of them, got the 90s for it, and I'm gonna start. I ordered this stainless off of Ace race car parts. I'll put the link in the description. We got some transitions. This is 2-inch to 3-inch, so this will go from here to our V-band. And then I have 2-inch to 1.5 inches. These headers are actually 1 3/4 inches, but this has to reach 1 3/4 inches right around here, so we'll just cut it and then use this for our transition at the back. Alright guys, so here's what we got so far. These are just a bunch of 90s that we cut up out of that old manifold that I showed you guys earlier. This is going to clear the stock steering shaft. Fish this in here so I can show you guys. Throw some bolts in there so it can hold it. Right there, that's how much clearance we have around the shaft. There's actually quite a bit. So if you're gonna make your manifolds like this, you actually don't have to move the shaft. You don't have to do anything at all. The only thing you'll have to change is this line, which I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bend it differently. It just loops around and bolts in right up around here. I'll just buy some line and we'll bend that ourselves. But that's not too hard. So it will fit in the stock location. The only thing is, we're gonna have one long runner, which isn't ideal, but this is kind of what it's gonna start to look like. This is gonna be our log, and then these two front runners are gonna 90 up into it, and the back one, which is right here, you can see it's pretty long. It's gonna connect back there and run all the way up into the log itself as well. I don't know how this is gonna work with such a long runner, but really there's only one way to find out, and I didn't really want to go through moving the booster or changing it out. I just wanted to make this work with it stock. So let's see how this goes. We're gonna weld these up now. We are gonna run a back purge on all these welds. I'm gonna weld these, and then after I have these welded, we'll start figuring out which 90s we can use for these two front runners. That way we can drill the holes in the log. After we have all the holes drilled in the log, then we can tack everything up, see how it's gonna fit, and then weld it all out. Alright you guys, so this is what we got so far. I got all these welded up. This one, this one, this one, and then I have this one. I'm not going to weld this yet just in case it's hard to get to after I put this one in. And I can still take it apart. This is one of them. One of the 90s I'm going to use. I'm going to start working this now. Probably cut a pretty steep angle here. And then start notching it up here. We're just going to notch it with a grinder. We're just going to work it with a grinder till it fits right there. Real nice and perfect. So this is the piece that I got cut out. As you can see, this is how it fits. So now we'll just start working it with a grinder. That way we have it flowing kind of this way once it's all nice and fit up. So the first thing I'm gonna do is cut a little V section out of this. That way we're not here grinding forever with a grinding wheel. And then we'll just start working it from there. We got a nice chunk of it missing. We'll check the fit up on the header. As you guys can see, I notched way too much out of it. Okay, so I completely messed up that last one. I cut too much out of it to begin with. So we're gonna do the same thing with this one. I went and cut a nice steep angle on it. It's a good thing I got a bunch of these 90s from this old header. We're going to start small, cut a smaller V, and then just work it from there. And just use the grinding wheel all the way out. Fit it, see where it's going. You guys can see we need a little more out of the back side. So we actually need to cut a little bit off the top to shorten it just a bit. That way we're not so angled that way, because we still got to clear the spark plug. So if we're too much this way, then we still got our spark plugs here, and we got... So here's the two 90s that I notched for the runners. Getting these exactly perfect is a little harder than I expected, especially this one is actually, I'm pretty sure it's not even possible to get this one perfect just because we're right in this transition. which means that it's a bigger diameter here than it is here. And maybe I could have made it work, but I got tired of working these things, both of them on the grinder. So I just decided that these gaps aren't too bad to get done. We probably will have some nasty roots on the inside. They'll be a little thick or whatever, but it won't be anything bad. Since we're back purging, it'll just be a big root. It'll look a little ugly on the inside, but it shouldn't be too big of a problem. Now what we're gonna do is draw a layout line for our where our hole is gonna go for these. So I got these two laid out with Sharpie. All I did is just set them up and then trace it out, basically just like that, and then just traced around it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the angle grinder and just with the cutoff disc start cutting, and then if I need to get more detailed, I'll grab something else to cut it. So what I'm going to try and do now is just cut a bunch of straight lines in these and see if we can start bending them out or something. See how this goes. Cut a little X into it. See if we just a little piece of bar stock. This is the section that had the most of it cut out on the edge. And it's actually now we'll just keep cutting more lines in this. See how this will look so far. Put a 90 on there. Not a 90R. Alright, so that's what it looks like. It just needs to get those edges cleaned up. I'll take just the grinder to it and then do the same for that side, and then finish welding this out, and then just weld the long runner from here and run it right into here. So if anybody's wondering, I'm running a 332nd tungsten red band 2% thoriated 332nd filler. It's a 309. stainless filler. And then for these joints that I have really bad fit up on, I just got a drill and wound 2 of them together just so we can get a little more filler in there. Ideally you should have a nice perfect fit up so you don't have to do stuff like this, but I had a lot of trouble notching these, and it took me just way too long, so I didn't want to keep working them to the point where I ruined another one. I already messed up one, and it's just all kinds of grinding, so I just got to a point where I can get it enough to weld it. A good idea if you don't have a brace is use a pair of any sort of vice grips, clamp them to your piece and make a brace. So we got all these welded out already. Now our next step is our long runner. I'm just gonna run this way, right around here. Okay, so I got it tacked, and just by looking at it, doesn't look like it's gonna work at all as far as spark plug clearance. I'm gonna go test fit on the truck, see what it looks like. Okay, so there it is. Steering shaft is in, and the bottom pieces are tacked, but as you can see, we're actually hitting right here, right there, and then we're really close to the head on this side. But since we're just tacked, if I pull this down, we'll clear as long as we come lower. Now this is just going to make our runner a lot longer because we also have to clear this plug. So this runner is going to be coming right around here. So what I have to do is take a little bit of angle out of the back one, that way it points us down a little bit. As you guys see that gap back there, so we need that to go up, but this piece to come down. So like I said, we got to cut a little bit of angle out of that back one. That one right there, that's one we got to take some angle out of. That way it'll shoot us down, and then we can refit that up. There it is, you guys, the final product. So all these are just straights. This one, remember, we had to move the angle a little bit down actually because I had it too far up. The shaft is in the truck, and I can just put this in, slide it in. It takes a little bit of finesse, but it'll go in even with the shaft in the truck. Just like that. Let me bolt it in real quick. So that's what it looks like in the truck. As you guys can see, we're clearing everything. The steering shaft is in. I got about finger length right here of clearance. On this side, we're a little bit close to the block. But it's nothing real bad. You can see that right there. And then all the plugs are also very easy to get to. I can even mount the coil packs up here on the valve cover if I wanted to, but I'm not sure yet. But I don't think I'm gonna do that because valve cover just looks a lot cleaner when engine bay just looks a lot cleaner when you don't have the coil packs up there. But I don't know, I want to relocate them. I mean, I have space, so that's probably what I'm gonna do. So I didn't get everything I did to the manifold. I missed some of the last things, but basically it's just cutting up the old ones, finding 90s, and grinding them down. I did everything with just a grinder. Basically, to cut them, the easiest way to cut them is with a grinder, a cutting disc. Sawzall works, but if you're cutting up, stainless steel is a really hard metal, you guys. So if the Sawzall, you're gonna eat up blades like no joke. I went through like 3 of them, and I had like not even 2 complete cuts. It just eats through them. So I'd recommend cutting them with like I said, just a regular old cutting disc. It'll work. It's a little bit of pain getting around all of them, but you just get enough cut and start bending them, and they'll break loose. So now I'm going to start with this side. You guys probably won't see footage of this. Basically the same thing. This side's a lot simpler. Just a regular old log with equal length runners, which will be nice. I have to actually cut them off of the flange here so I can flip them upwards, and then the log will run up top. That way it matches that side. And so yeah, if you're gonna do this, cut up the right side. See, I could use this side over there. I would only have to cut this one completely off, but I screwed up because I didn't really know what I wanted to do at first. So yeah, just if you're gonna do this, cut up this side. Use the ones that go up on driver's side, and the ones that way both sides go up already, and you don't have to do as much cutting. So yeah, you guys, thanks to everybody for watching. You guys, we'll see you next time.